All right, everybody, welcome back to Bourbon Flights OKC. Eric, as always, with my co-host Jason. This is Season 2, Episode 14, which is the Wheated Bourbon Battle. We're doing Weller Special Reserve and the brand new, practically, Penelope Wheated. First off, though, this is going to come out like today. I think I'll just post it. Yeah. So, Merry Christmas. Yeah. A day or two late. I guess a day late.
Yes.
The day after Christmas to everybody. Hope you had a safe holiday. We had a good time yesterday.
Yes.
Drank some bourbon, smoked a turkey, all of the above.
Played some trivia games.
Played some trivia games. Yep. My folks were here, which is nice. So, all right. I guess we'll just get right into it. Yeah. So I've had this Weller Special Reserve. We've had it many times. I think we've had it on the podcast, but you got this for me for Christmas.
Yes. So our friends over at George's and Modern Liquor had gotten a case of that, or had gotten some of that. I don't know how much they originally got, but they were the only ones that I could find in town that had it, the new wheat. And so George's ran out by the time I got there, of course.
Yep.
And then so I went up to see Jason at Modern Liquor, and he had a couple bottles left, so I grabbed two. But
nice.
Yeah, so thanks to our friends over there at George's and Modern Liquor.
Yeah.
And
they hooked you up.
Yeah.
And in a roundabout way, they hooked me up.
Yeah. So, yeah, and Grandma was, she was not liking the sheriff.
No.
We took our puppy, English Bulldog, into George's, and Grandma was in there, their dog, and she was giving him the third degree. He just kind of looked at her like, oh, boy. And then,
not a fan of the new pup, huh?
Yeah, she's just letting him know that's her territory.
That's funny.
Yeah, so thanks again to Jason and Cody at George's and Modern Liquor.
Yep. Yeah, two great stores. Usually if one place doesn't have something, the other will. They'll call back and forth. So
yeah,
definitely go check those guys out down. They're like quite a ways into OKC.
Yeah, one's downtown. Stores. George's is downtown.
Yeah.
And Modern is off of Penn and around like 26th.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah,
somewhere around there.
It's further north than George's, but not by much.
Yeah.
All right, shall we just get into it?
Yeah, let's do.
All right, so let's start with the Weller since we've had that one before. Weller Special Reserve. It is a straight bourbon from the Sazerac Company, distilled by Buffalo Trace. The release is ongoing. The proof is 90. The age is NAS. Undisclosed mash bill, but it is their wheated mash bill, but we don't know exactly what percentages they are, as Buffalo Trace usually does. They keep it a secret. And obviously the big thing about this is it's a wheated bourbon, right? So it's going to have some weedy characteristics, if you will. Yeah. So,
I mean,
it smells like a wheated bourbon to me.
Yep.
Good.
A mild spice, a mid
mild spice, yeah. And this bottle's also been open for a while too. So
yeah,
definitely got some oxidation in there. Are you generally a fan of Weller products?
And I know it makes everybody mad, but not. I mean, I don't hate them, but they're not my favorite. I'm not. I mean, I wouldn't go spending all of my time hunting down find 107 or anything like that.
So I like 107. I mean, for me, it's my favorite Weller out of the bunch. Special Reserve is okay. I have the bottle of 12-year back there. I'm really not a fan of it.
Yeah.
And people like hunt all over for that thing. If there's a Weller product that I'm going to spend my money on, it's going to be the Antique 107, which I know you don't really like because
I don't hate it, but it's just not my favorite.
Yeah. It's antique-y. It's too antique
for
dusty
for me. It's got like dusty, musty taste to it.
It's old man dust.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll just get into it. I mean,
now this doesn't have that for me, but you can tell this is young.
Yeah.
But it's still good. I think it's funny you see some of the bourbon hunting videos on YouTube, and the guys are like, trying to find. They can't believe they found Weller, and it's like you can't go to a store here without tripping over.
Yeah, it's everywhere.
It's everywhere.
Yep.
Which is so weird because all the other allocations. I mean, you got to fight tooth and nail to find and grab.
Yeah, I found probably next episode we'll do it. I found the new Evan Williams vintage, the 2016 version on the allocation rack at Bacchus the other day. They had some allocations out, but I mean, yeah, it's weird how you go certain places and like you can find everything, everything that we can't find here and vice versa, right? It's just weird how Oklahoma, or I guess states in general, get their
Yeah,
get their
it
bourbon.
varies from state to state.
It's very
so
strange.
much.
Yep. So for me, like, obviously it's very weedy. It's a weeded bourbon.
Yeah.
Oak, vanilla, caramel notes.
Yeah.
But that's really it for me.
Yeah.
There's a good amount of spice on the end, at the end of the palate.
But not too much.
No. It's not overpowering. But like for me, and this is kind of why I don't understand why people like search for this so hard. It's okay. It's like nothing to write home about. It's nothing for me to go out and like spend my time trying to find.
To me, it tastes like a good but still young whiskey.
Yeah.
Like it's not quite ready.
Yeah. And I mean, it is only 90 proof too, right?
Yeah.
So it's lower proof. It's younger. This might be an interesting one to put in a barrel.
Yeah.
Sit and
I would agree with that.
see how much better it gets over time.
Yeah.
Our friends at BreakingBourbon.com on the nose, they're talking about basically what I just said, vanilla caramel. They're talking about honey as well. The bourbon on the palate, it maintains its abundant sweetness, which I agree with.
Mm-hmm.
Tasty, yet classic mitts of honey, caramel, vanilla, light fruit. Spice fails to make an appearance. I guess on the initial palate.
Yeah, because I get it at the end. I don't.
Yeah, I don't. It's not a. It's more of at the finish of the palate, I would say. Finish, they talk about the slightest amount of heat appears, followed by a more intense oak. Honey, caramel reappear, then a general oaky warmth back to sweeter notes to cap things off. I would say for me, it's not heat. It's the amount. I wanted to say large amount of spice, but it's not really a large amount of spice at all. It's just rye spice.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
So that's all it
agree.
really is. I'm sure we've rated this in the past. I couldn't begin to remember all of them. I still need to do that. I talk about it like every week on the podcast that I need to go back and I need to look and see what we've rated and just come up with a general ratings board so that we can remember when we try things on the podcast again.
I don't want to rate it yet until after we try the other.
Okay, you want to try the Penelope
let's,
first?
Let's go
That's fair.
with the Penelope.
So this is Penelope Wheated. There is absolutely nothing about like reviews online because it literally just came out.
Yeah.
Obviously made by Penelope. It's a straight bourbon whiskey. It is wheated, and the proof is 95, which means the alcohol by volume is 47.5. Just talks about rich sweetness and hint of spice. It offers a taste for all tastes, whether you're sipping it neat or mixing it into a cocktail. I would never put this in a cocktail ever.
How dare anyone
How
do that?
dare they do that? But yeah.
So
Lawrenceburg, Indiana. MGP.
it smells not as sweet as the Weller.
Yep.
The Weller definitely smells sweeter, but it smells really good.
Yep. So it's going to be kind of your classic MGP juice, right?
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just trying to get back here. So they have some tasting notes. AI has given us some tasting notes on Google, which is interesting.
Man, that
God, it smells so good.
so much more flavor in this. It's not sweet like the Weller.
No, it's not as sweet. There's definitely more of a spicy element to it.
Yeah.
I think it's a little bit more weedy as well.
Yeah. A medium it almost has kind of a
Which is funny because like Weller is weedy, but like I think for most people, if you just gave it to them and they didn't know it was a wheated bourbon, they might not be able to figure it out with just the regular Weller Special Reserve. Yeah. Whereas with this, to me, there's a lot more wheat.
Yeah.
In the sip than the Weller. God, it's so good.
Yeah, to me it tastes closer to the 107, but without that musty bit in that 107.
Yeah,
it's not sweet. That's good though.
It's really good.
Definitely a lot more.
Leaves a nice like spiciness in your mouth for a long time. I know we've talked about in the past how like some bourbons the spice lingers too long and it turns into unpleasant, but like it's still sitting in my mouth and it's really good. Like kind of like a caramely vanilla spice going on.
See, that's how I get like a almost like a raisin and cinnamon Have you
I
ever
can
had
get
a
the cinnamon,
cinnamon
yeah.
roll with raisins in it? Have you ever had one
No.
with that?
Why would you put raisins
It
in
was really
cinnamon
good.
rolls?
It was really good.
Raisins and cinnamon
Yeah.
rolls is not something that I'm trying to do. That sounds un-American to me.
It's very good.
Cinnamon rolls should just have cinnamon, sugar, and frosting. Raisins and cinnamon rolls. That's a new one for me.
It's good.
So again, there's no reviews. We'll just kind of go over the tasting notes that have come out of Google AI, which I'm sure they went on. I can tell here they went on the Penelope website as well. Smooth, approachable bourbon, soft flavor profile. I would agree with that. It's not like it is more interesting than the Weller, but it's not like insanely complex, right? Soft notes of vanilla, corn sweetness, subtle hints of citrus and spice. I'm not getting the citrus. I definitely get the spice.
Maybe a little bit of.
Oh, are you doing this? Uh-oh. Is this?
Uh-oh. You'll be able to tell the difference when you taste them. That's for sure. If you're gonna say
Yeah, that's the Penelope.
citrus, it's almost like a faint grapefruit, like a real faint when I smell it, but I don't taste it.
I don't smell it or taste it for me. I think it just smells light and bourbony, like just the three big ones, you know. The oak, the vanilla,
Yeah.
and obviously the wheat. It's a good one though.
Yeah, I get a little raisin with it, but
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe that's just me.
Yep. So this is interesting. Potential criticisms. This is just all AI generated, but I found this interesting. Some experienced bourbon drinkers may find Penelope lacking in depth and distinct flavors.
And I would say that's exactly opposite of what's going on between these two.
Yeah, it's definitely way more interesting than the Weller.
Yeah.
The lower proof can make it seem less robust compared to other bourbons. I would agree with that. I mean, it's only 95 proof. So, I mean, it's not going to be anything insanely interesting. And then, I mean, we don't have an age statement on this, do we?
We don't.
It's probably NAS. Let's see if I can find it.
If we could get a barrel pick of that, I bet that would be interesting.
Yeah. So it says they're wheated 4 to 6 years. Oh, here's the mash bill. 74% corn, 7% rye, 16% wheat, 3% malted barley.
You'd think with that much corn it would be sweeter.
You would. I'm trying to go to their website, but it wants me to put my age in. But yeah, so yeah, I mean, there's a lot of corn in there, isn't there?
Yeah.
And a surprise amount of spice for only being 7% rye, but I guess you're getting some spice from the wheat as well. I wonder. Oh, we don't have the mash bill.
So it seems like on that spice, the Weller hits you real hard, and this just the spice kind of eases
in and then backs off. Yeah,
yeah, and it's real nice.
I mean, even now there's still a little bit of like that, like rye. I guess I would call it heat. That's just kind of like lingering in the back of my throat.
Right there. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, not as bad as a live restricted for some audiences. Well, that's not good. Who cares?
Probably because we're talking about
Alcohol. The children. The children. We're still live on here. So we're also live on TikTok now. Oak City Bourbon.
Oh.
Our boy over there. The MGP wheat is not winter red wheat. Going to have a lot of different notes to it.
Okay.
Yeah. Sounds like he knows more about putting wheat in bourbon than we do, which is fair. But I mean, honestly, I don't drink a lot of wheated bourbons.
Yeah.
It's not something I seek out.
No, and I usually shy away because of Weller.
Yeah.
So, but I actually enjoy that. So
yeah,
that's a good one
for sure.
Hopefully, someone around here will be able to do a barrel pick of that. That would be nice.
That'd be awesome.
Speaking of which, some rumors.
Jason's Rumor Corner. Do we need to have a special segment called Jason's Rumor Corner?
So I was talking with Cody, and it seems that I believe sometime next year, he doesn't have a dates or anything.
Yeah.
You know how that goes. They never give him a firm date. But he has got a barrel pick of Caribou 1 coming.
Interesting.
Or Caribou Crossing.
Caribou Crossing.
Crossing.
Which is, I'm not a fan of it, but the wives love it. It's like the Blantons of Canadian whiskey.
Pretty much.
Canadian whiskey Blantons, whatever it is. I have to interrupt because Windy City Smokers asked, what do I think of Koval? Absolutely terrible.
Yeah, that was
absolutely horrible. We're going to do an experiment with this if you stay watching here for a little bit.
Yeah.
It's not good. I had it the first time up at one of my favorite restaurants at a hotel up in Woburn, Mass, called Matadora. It's a tapas place in the bottom of this hotel. And I had it, and I was like, man, that actually wasn't bad. Apparently, I had a lot to drink that night because I bought a bottle when I got back because I remember telling you about it, and we tried it, and it's bad. Objectively so.
Yeah.
I think like it's certified organic, which I mean, I don't know what it takes to certify something organic, but I mean, maybe that's the problem here. I don't know. I don't really want to drink it. Yep. Certified organic. It's distilled from organic grains. Corn and I don't know. It's not good. Haven't had it for years. I only sampled it at a store. Forgot what I thought about it. Yeah, I don't like it. Well, why don't we just do it since we're talking about it? So what we're going to do is I've got from Craft a Brew, I've got an Amberana stave. Do you want to are you trying to try it again?
No.
Before we put it in there?
We could if you wanted to, but I'm pretty sure it's going to taste just as
so,
bad as
I tried to put the Amberana stave into the Koval. Yep, it is from Chicago, which makes sense. Windy City Smokers. I tried to put it in there, but it's such a thick stave that it didn't fit. So I'm gonna put the stave in there. Oh, it's horizontal. Probably doesn't matter, but anyway. And then we're gonna put the Koval into it, and we're gonna let it just sit in there for a while and see what it does, because I don't care.
It can't make it any worse.
It can't make it any worse. I don't care to drink Koval ever again, the way that it currently is. So we're going to put it and see what the Amberana stave does to it.
Ruining a good stave.
Yeah.
Now Koval does make it their own Amberana, but I have not grabbed it because of our experience with this bottle.
Yep. And the stave's floating, but obviously as it absorbs it'll sink. So, all right, so we've done it. So we've put the Koval into, I mean, it's a different bottle, obviously, but with the stave in there, and we will, I don't know, every month or so maybe try it.
Yeah.
And
that's that stave's from Craft a Brew?
Craft a Brew, yep. It was pretty cheap. I guess I can just leave this up here. It was pretty cheap. It was like, I don't know, $5. Yeah. The only problem I have with it is it's too wide.
Yeah.
So I honestly wouldn't buy that again because it doesn't fit. Like there's no way you're putting it in a bottle like this or that, or I mean even the Koval bottle. Yeah. It's just too wide. Which whatever. I mean, thank you again for letting me drink the rest of your old Granddad 114 and put it in a.
Probably need to grab another bottle and have that handy at the house.
It is good. Yep. I enjoyed Granddad. And I don't think we've had that on the podcast.
I don't know.
But all right. Is it time to? So Weller Special Reserve. I mean, MSRP has got to only be like, I don't know, $35-$40. I'm sure you're probably
like $39.
Yeah. I mean, you're paying probably anywhere between $40 or $50 for it. Maybe a little bit less than $40. What did you pay? I know it's Christmas gift, but I'm still going to ask. What did you pay?
I believe it was $40.
Okay. Nice. That's actually not a bad price for a Penelope product, because I think the white label, which I don't have anymore, I think that's about $40, isn't it? Yeah. All right. So roughly the same price. Mm-hmm. I know which one I like better. I think you do as well.
Yeah.
Let's go start with the Weller, though. What are you rating that out of 10?
I mean, it's still a good product. So I would say 6-8.
Yeah, I was going to say a 7.
Yeah.
Like I don't think it's bad. It's kind of middle of the road for me. It's nothing that I'm going to like seek out.
Yeah.
You know. Penelope Wheated out of 10.
I liked it, so I'm gonna give it an 8.5.
I was gonna go like an 8.2.
Yeah.
I think for me, again, like wheated bourbon is I don't think it's bad. Again, it's just nothing that like
I just like it's when you want something different. That'll be something nice to go for.
That's a fair assessment. Fair assessment. Yeah, I think it's a great drink. For $40, I mean, shit, it's a great price for a great bottle. Yeah. Do we want to put some of it into the infinity bottle?
I'm good with that.
You're good with that? All right. Let's do that. Again, we got an infinity bottle going. If you don't have one at your own house, you should. Basically what we've done is we've taken our favorites and put it into this one.
Is that Koval that's in there?
I think Koval, and there was one other one.
Are
I
in
have
the
it on a
wrongs.
spreadsheet because so we use the whiskey. Is it the whiskey shelf? Is that
Yes.
what it's called? You can only do one infinity bottle per account. So I obviously did put the good one on there.
Right.
So I have a spreadsheet with, I think there's either 2 or 3 in the bad one, but I'd have to look. I can look it up here in a second. Yeah, I think that deserves for sure to go in the infinity bottle. There it is. We've done it.
Yep.
You've got the good and the bad over there.
good and the bad.
I mean, it's
And then
nice
the
at
ugly.
least
The good, the bad, the ugly.
At least we've got more in the good than the bad, right? It would be kind of a bummer if we if it was the other way around.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder if I can see quickly. Actually, I need to go here because I know I started a spreadsheet for it. Because again, I couldn't. It sucks that you can only do one. I think if you do a premium account.
Oh, there was a premium on there? I didn't see you could do a premium.
So it's the 13th Colony Rye and the Koval Single Barrel are the 2 in there.
Yeah.
God, that 13th Colony Rye. I don't know what's worse, the Barrel Rye or the 13th Colony Rye.
Yeah. So what's interesting talking to people is like, oh yeah, the 13th Colony, no good, but you want the double oaked. That one's supposed to be really
That one's
good.
really good.
Yeah, and it's like good luck finding that one.
Yeah.
They don't come here, so you're gonna. I found those in Texas anyway. At Specs in Tomball, Texas.
Yeah.
So
I feel like double oak too is another. I mean, not as complicated as wheated. I mean, a wheated bourbon's pretty much a wheated bourbon, but the issue I have with a lot of the double oak stuff is like some of it's too much.
Too much oak tannins in it.
Too much. But you know, it is what it is, I suppose.
Do we want to tell them about that special deal coming from our friends here at?
Oh yeah. Yep. For those of you, I mean, we've got people that watch all over the country, especially now that we're on TikTok. But our friends over at Coffee Creek Wine Shop, they are on Covell and Broadway.
Kelly.
I am so bad with directions around here.
Covell and Kelly.
Covell and Kelly. I think did they recently kind of redo their store?
They recently bought it.
Okay.
So it's under new ownership.
Yeah.
They're revamping a lot of the stuff, so they're really focusing in on their bourbons and stuff and getting better stuff in.
I need to go in there.
And they actually, I talked to them quite a bit, and they actually hooked me up with a bottle of Elmer T. Lee that I'd been chasing all over the state trying to find, and it's, as a special thing for our viewers, if you go in and you mention the podcast, they will give you 10% off.
Yep. So hop in there. Again, it's Covell and Kelly, Coffee Creek Wine Shop. Obviously, they don't just sell wine.
Yes.
Mention Bourbon Flights OKC podcast, 10% off. Super awesome that they're doing that for us and for you. More importantly for you, but it's nice for us as well.
Yeah.
But
good guys, though. Good guys.
Yeah.
So, nice to talk to. They got plenty of stuff. They really
nice.
The store before they bought it, it was kind of going downhill. There wasn't a lot in there. It was a lot of weird, obscure stuff, and now they're really focusing in and bringing back what people want,
which is
getting the prices down.
Yeah,
and you get another 10% off.
That's
so
right. That's right.
Makers.
That's right. There's nothing wrong with that. All right, how are we doing here? Oh, perfect, man. Remember the first few episodes where it would be like an hour and a half?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not get much
Not
done
anymore. Yep.
Yeah.
Any final thoughts, comments, concerns, accolades?
No. There is another Penelope that I want to get on the show.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually got to try it. And Daniel and I tried it. And it was one of Jant's did a barrel pick of the Penelope.
Which one?
I think it's I have to look. I think it was the toasted. I'm not for sure.
Okay.
Don't quote me on that.
Okay.
But
we're quoting you. We're holding you to it.
It was so good. And Daniel likes Penelope, so I gave him the bottle because I can obviously get more. But so if you're out in 164th and Rockwell, go into the wine barrel, see Jant's, and check out his barrel picks. I think he's got like 8 barrel picks out on the floor.
Yeah, he always has a lot of barrel picks. I mean, and that's kind of the way we're
George's
seeing
too.
Yeah, I mean that's the way we're seeing the industry going, right? Is these barrel picks, because it's kind of cool where it's like, yeah, you might like a certain Elijah Craig, right? Speaking from experience, because I love having hill products. But then you get somebody's barrel pick, and it's like, whoa, like this is so much better than the regular small batch single barrel. Whatever.
Yeah, Express
whatever
Liquors, Elijah Craig barrel pick was amazing. Still my favorite.
You also will find some barrel picks that aren't
So good.
perhaps as good as you'd like them to be. Like the case, I don't even know who did it, but that Buffalo Trace barrel pick.
That was Bacchus.
Was it? Yeah,
It was not good. Yeah, it was almost like somebody just, I'll take that one and didn't even try it. It was actually worse than the regular Buffalo Trace.
Yeah.
Not saying Buffalo Trace is bad, but it's just
Yeah,
not mine.
it's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine. Oh,
We'll save that for the next episode.
all right. We'll save that for next week. Just a reminder, again, we are live on TikTok. If you want to see the episodes before they get put on YouTube and Spotify, check us out at Bourbon Flights OKC on TikTok. I say we usually record Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I know it's Thursday. Obviously, it's the holiday, so schedules are a little screwed up.
Yeah.
If you're watching us on TikTok live and you want to see the full episode, maybe you hopped in out real quick, or you want to listen to it on Spotify, Bourbon Flights OKC on there as well. Again, we're just trying to get out to all these different platforms and get our names out there and help you find bourbons that you like, find bourbons that you don't like, get hooked up with special deals, see cool products. We're going to have some cool glasses on the next episode, so stay tuned for that.
Let us know what your thoughts are. What you like
absolutely. I mean,
give us a like.
I mean,
share
I have
the video.
Yeah, I mean, I love when people come into the live and they ask questions or say, "Hey, what do you think of that? This, that, the other thing." I don't think it ruins the podcast episode at all. I mean, I think it adds to it, if anything. So, anything else, my friend?
That's all I got.
All right. Thanks for joining us on this bourbon journey through OKC. Remember, there's a world of bourbon out there waiting to be explored one sip at a time. Until next time, keep your spirits... Screwed it up. Keep your glasses full and your spirits high. Cheers. That's what I get for trying to memorize it.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.